So I'm starting this makeup tutorial with a disclaimer. For those of you who don't know, which unfortunately I think is the majority, I had a previous channel before, but the account got hacked, so I lost a bunch of content and things like that. I just had to turn all that entire thing down. Well, YouTube helped me, but yeah. So I've had to start again from scratch, which is not fun because I've been at it for a year and I had just reached 2,000 subscribers, and then you have to start again from zero. This happened at the end of September, if I remember correctly. No, in September, not in the end of, but in September, and it took me some time to have the energy to start up again because I did have a dip. It just was difficult. I am back now, obviously, if you're on this channel, but it's a new channel, so I doubt people get hacked twice, but still, you know, follow me on Twitter or follow me on Instagram. That way, if something like that ever happens again, then you know you have a way of connecting. I lost a lot of people that I was following, so luckily some I remember my name, some I do follow on Twitter and on Instagram, but not everyone, so I sort of learned my lesson there. If I appreciate someone on YouTube and they have Twitter and Instagram, make sure that I follow them at least on one of those places so I can, you know, reconnect if anything ever happens. So in this makeup tutorial that you're going to see, or get ready with me, I'm sort of testing out a palette that was new back then, which is the Soph X Makeup Revolution palette. I was testing it, I was doing swatches and things like that. I've sort of re-edited it because it's not new anymore, so it's not a sort of testing a new palette, it becomes more of a review of a palette. There might be parts in the new edit that might not make sense to you if you didn't follow me before on the past channel, but just found me on this, so that you know that there might be things that I say that you kind of go, what is she talking about? That's, you know, reference to things I have said or done before, so that you bear that in mind. That's enough chatting for me for now. Just keep watching and you'll see past me and what she was up to 2 months ago. Hello, I'm Stanzi and welcome to my house. Please subscribe, and if you like this video, remember to give it a thumbs up and hit the notification bell if you want to be notified whenever I post. I also always say, if you follow me, you know, I always say that the camera tends to pale me out quite a bit. It's because of the red background, so when it white balances, it sort of takes that into account and I get to look a lot paler than I am. I am, however, going to try to show you the colour I actually am. There you can see I have a much yellower undertone. So yes, I don't like the idea of having a white background. That's why I continue with the red one, but I am aware that I look a lot paler than I actually am, and that's not always good when you're showing makeup. I'm aware of that too. Here we are, and you can see all the shades in the pan, and this is pretty close to, I would like to say, exactly what they look like actually in real life. And this one is called Penguin. This one and that one called Pancakes I swiped 5 times in my arm, so that's, consider that when you see the image that I swiped those 5 times on my arm to get the colour I achieved on those. Each and every other colour I swiped twice except for let's see, Grow Old, Pine Tree, and actually I'm gonna look at my arm. Yeah, Festive Flame. This one, that one, and this one I only swiped once. Every other colour except the first 2 I swiped twice. These I swiped 5 times. That one, and that one I swiped once. And all the other shades I swiped twice on my arm. So here we have Penguin, Pancakes, Fairy Lights, Pink Champagne, Iced Coffee, Cup of Tea, Grow Old, Sparks Fly, Smoky Bronze, Mixed Berries, Tiramisu, Peaches, Cloudberry, Pumpkin, Pine Tree, Petrol, Pug, Danger, Strawberry Sweets, Festive Flame, Copper Coin, Mug Cake, Rosewood and Nightmare. This one, well, actually, both of these have bigger flakes when I swatch them than the other metallic colors. I would say that this one, the glitter, is bigger, definitely bigger in this one than it is on the other metallic shades, because they're not glittery shades, they are metallic shades. But I would say that the formula in this one is more flaky than the rest. This one was a bit more than the rest, but this one was definitely a lot more than the rest. At least on my pan, all the colors are great. I absolutely love this palette, and I will definitely be using it all autumn. Now I'm going to show you the images of the swatches. You know, the colors here live, if you will, are just so gorgeous, and it is really the palette I was hoping that it would be, which is, you know, to a complement to all the other shades that I have. It just enriches that perfectly. So I'm really happy, and congrats to you, Sophie. I have congratulated you on social media, and you have seen it. I have noticed that because you have liked, and I think you answered back in one of them as well. So I know that you have seen me congratulate you. I don't actually know Sophie personally, I just follow her, and I know that there are a lot of YouTubers who sort of with time get contacted with brands and collaborate in doing makeup or skincare or even, you know, home decor and things like that. And I might like it, but I'm not always gonna be standing in line buying it, because if it's not something that I actually want in my life, I don't want to spend my money reviewing things. Even though you might appreciate it, it's actually my hard-earned money that I'm spending on things that I don't want in my life. But when she presented this palette, I just couldn't not love it. It's just such gorgeous shades. I'm completely in love with it. So that's why I bought it, and I have a very soft makeup look today. I mean, I don't, sometimes I wear a lot of makeup on my eyes. Today I don't, it's just on my upper lids, and I don't have any eyeliner. I am going to take it off and do a bit of makeup look, basically, with these colours, so that you can see what they look like on my face as well. I'm going to turn off the camera so that I can go and clean off my eyes, and I'll be back soon. Let's see. So now I'm back. I just have to put a base on my eyelids, and I will show you, where did I put my primer? I can't find my primer. So primer, my trusted primer is the one from Makeup Store, is the one I use, I would say 99% of the time. It's a clear primer. They have a concealer as well that I know that they sort of started to use, which is very good as well. I've been there and they've done my makeup and they've used it, and it is very, very good. But I like this primer so much that I'm not gonna buy that concealer for the eyelids before I'm done using what I have, which is this primer and a BB cream from Garnier, which I use to sort of hide all the little, well, what is it called? What is it called in English? I completely forgot. Veins on my eyes. As I didn't have any makeup underneath my eyes, I already have the BB cream and the primer underneath, so that's why I'm not doing any of it now. But yeah, and this one is BB Cream Miracle Skin Perfection. It's the shade medium, which is really interesting because I have a BB cream that I use on my face sometimes instead of foundation. Today I'm actually wearing foundation, but like no more than that. And lid on, come on, lid on. And then I take that between my two fingers and I run them like that, and then I'm going to look in the mirror so that I don't actually get any on my eyelashes. And as you can see from there to there it sort of pales it out and gives it a more even base to start adding shade on, basically. What was I saying? Yes, the other BB cream that I use is also from Garnier, and it's also a shade called medium, and it's not the same color, and I find that so interesting, because the other one is darker. It's, well, matches my skin complexion, whereas this one is a bit paler, so I use it around my eyes, sort of to give a more monochrome shade on my lid, but also sort of to highlight underneath. And the other one is darker, so go figure. I'm not complaining, I like them both, and since I can mix them up, it doesn't really matter, but it is kind of strange that they are both called medium and they're not the same color at all. I need to collect my brushes. I am thinking I might actually do my brows. I rarely, well, honestly I never do them. I never do my brows, but last week I had one sort of makeup session, if you will, at makeup store. They have competitions now and then so that you can win things like that, and I had won it, and the girl who was doing my eye makeup sort of asked, do you want me to do your brushes, your brows? And I was like, well, I never do them. She was like, well, we can do them very lightly, we don't have to, you know, do them intensely. I was like, yeah, because I never do them because they're black and they're, well, not thick, but you know, they're quite, you know, good shape, they're long and things like that. So I always feel like I don't want to make them the focal point of my face, so I never add them in. And then she did it really, really gently, and I really, really liked it. And I like that she did it because I hadn't tried at home because I didn't want to buy any brow gel or anything like that in case I didn't like it, because just because you watch people do it doesn't always mean that you know how to do it, and since I've never actually filled in my brows, I don't know, I've never been too sure about it, but she did it and I really liked it. So I actually have a gel liner from the Body Shop. I'm going to show you which one it is, and I tried it at home, and I tried going out with it when it was raining as well without an umbrella to just really make sure how it sits, and it worked amazing. So I haven't bought any brow powder or brow gel. I am using the Smoky 2-in-1 gel liner from the Body Shop. So now I'm going to do my brows and hopefully not mess it up. This will be the third time I am what is it called? Filling in my brows. I dab my brush in the gel and then I sort of run it on the palm of my hand so that it gets a bit lighter, and when it is more of a greyish tone, then I start sort of in the middle. Everyone does it differently, but for me it works this way, so I'm just going to show you how I do it. So in the middle, and I go back and front. In the middle of the brow I stay quite centered, and then I take a bit from the hand, not from the pan, from the hand, and I sort of start stroking it down the brow, following my natural shade. Now some of you might have thinner brows or your hairs don't grow as close, so you might actually have to, you know, I know that some people sort of use very fine brushes because they sort of draw the line of sort of the hairs of the brow. I luckily don't have to. I just sort of have to darken the base underneath. So I do it very gently so that I don't go overboard, basically. I can always, that's why I also like to start in the middle, because then I can gently start to sort of raise it up if I want to, and if I don't want to, I just keep it where it is. Can you see the difference? I'm really liking it. I am going to bring it a bit further as well, because as I said, my hairs are, well, they are black and they also grow quite close, so I can bring them further without, well, I can bring the colour further without it necessarily looking, what do you call it, sort of chompy. It doesn't sort of go like, oh, she has very little hair and boom, there it starts. It doesn't really look like that on me if I do it gently. So that's what I'm doing, and then I just sort of run this one through. Dun, 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 and there we are. There. So they are darker, definitely darker than they were before, but it's not like screaming at you like two caterpillars. And that's sort of the idea I always had, that if I fill them in, it's just gonna be too strong. But no, they don't have to be. I like it. I'm happy. Let's move on with eye makeup. Let's see, the brushes I need are going to be my blending brushes, I think, and also a tapping brush. So I will most likely be using, let's see, well, these are actually the same kind of brush, but they are blending brushes, just blending brushes, and then this one is sort of more thin on one side, and there is really good for just tapping, and this one is more of a fanned blending brush. I think those are the ones I will be using for the look. I am not entirely sure yet what I will be doing, or maybe I should be looking at the colours so I can tell you which colours I'm using. That's also something one can do, I suppose. What do I want to do though? Either way, I'm going to start with a crease shade, and that I am starting with a blending brush, and I will try pancakes first. Twirl it in the pan. Sort of, you can see it there. I take it and I kind of go whee, and it picks up enough shade. And if it doesn't, then I just do that motion over and over again until I have enough on the brush. I am going to, actually I'm going to add penguin at the end to see if I can actually use that as a highlighter or if it's too white. I'm thinking that if I were to ever use do a cut crease, I can actually use the white for that, so I don't think it will be unused for me. However, what shade, what shape and what shade do I want to go for? I could perhaps, I'm thinking orangey, I am thinking pinkish. Am I or am I not? Yeah, I am. Now I'm going to actually use Cup of Tea as a transition colour, because as you, I think you can all see, this one on me is actually a transition colour. I think you can see that. There is a difference. And I'm gonna pack it on a bit more, because I like to be able to use strongly of colour when I use it, and therefore the transition shade needs to go from strong to very soft. And I've brought it in about to here. I might add closer to the inner corner, but I am starting there at least, because I'm still not entirely sure what kind of a shape I'm going to do. So doing it this way, I'm still sort of safe in my options of what kind of a shape I want to go for. And then very lightly at the edges, sort of circular motion. I'm going in with, let's be bold, I'm going in with pumpkin or strawberry sweet. No, I'm taking pumpkin actually. And I'm going to use it on my blender brush as well. And outer or inner, decide inner. We are doing pumpkin on the inside. And it's a very light motion. I'm doing back and forth, and then I am going to be sort of fanning it up, very lightly fanning it up. And now I'm going to turn my brush over because, as you can see, I still have some color left here. I'm gonna tap that on. Depending on the shape of your eyes and the size of your eyes and you know how high up your brow is and things like that, and also your personal style. But I can go in with quite a lot of color without it necessarily looking like, wow, she's wearing a lot of makeup, just because one, the space I have in between here is quite a lot, and secondly, my eyes are quite big, so you sort of look first. People tend to look first at each other's eyes, and after that you sort of take in what's around it. So I can actually go quite boldly sometimes with shape and colour without necessarily looking like, wow, she's wearing like her entire, you know, pan of makeup on her eyelid. Let's see, next side. I'm really liking it. Now I'm going in with, let's see, it's Danger. On the outer corner of my eye, I'm placing Danger. I am thinking perhaps I should be placing Tiramisu underneath though, to darken it up. On the inside of my crease, I'm gonna do that. So I'm not bringing it out, I'm just keeping it on the inside. And this is the shade Tiramisu. There we go. The same on the next side, and just as well as your brows should be, you know, what is it, sisters not twins, siblings not twins. The same goes with usually your eyes. Like the shape of your eyes tend to be exactly the same, but your eyelids tend to vary a little on how they sort of crease or how far in. If you have a hooded eye, for instance, it might vary a bit if it may not always start in the same point and things like that. So those things does make it important for you, if it is important for you obviously, to consider how you place your makeup. It may not necessarily be exactly the same on the both of your eyes, because it might, if you do it the exact same way, it might actually look different. And sometimes the variation is minimal and you don't actually barely notice it. I mean, if you were to really sort of like study someone's face, you might notice it. So most of the time you don't have to think about it, but for certain makeup looks it becomes very obvious, so do take that into account. So play around with makeup, you know, learn the shape of your face, learn what looks symmetrical on your sides. And there are people who are lucky enough to have the exact same shape of their eyelids on both sides as well. I have them very close, but not exactly the same. So I do have to consider, I think, with another. So I've just packed, oh, what is the name of this one? Tiramisu. On the insides of my crease. And on top of that, I'm going to change my brush now. On top of that, I am using Danger. That's the name, Danger. And this one, I don't know if you remember from the swatches, but it's what kind of a color can we say? Burgundy maroonish, very beautiful, warm toned color. Look at that! I am in love. This palette is just for me at least, it just complements all the other shades that I have, so I can mix it with those, but it also is enough to just use this palette. So now I blend this one when I have made sure that I got the excess off, and I am very lightly blending it because it is a very strong shade, so I don't have to put a lot of pressure on this for it to start to blend. And the next side. So I'm rolling the pencil on the pan, the brush, not the pencil, the brush. It's because in Swedish a brush is called pensel. That's why I just said pencil. I think that's why my brain just sort of went, that's the same thing. But I know it's not. There I think we are. And then I start making sure I take off any excess. And let's start blending. Blending. I am so in love with myself right now. No, but the look, it's so creamy. I mean, the blending goes on so creamy, not the look is creamy. And in the middle, I am thinking that the base might be either peaches or strawberry sweet, but then I'm going to go with a metallic, whichever, maybe festive flame. Festive flame I think works better with pumpkin and danger, but which colour to have underneath? I think peaches actually. Strawberry sweet might be too pink, and that's not what I want right now. I am going to use this brush to pat on peaches. Yes, peaches. Just patting it on, like literally this motion, not moving the brush around. And then I'm going down, patting it up. It is, seriously, it is a peachy colour. There are a lot of shades out there that say that they're peachy, but this one is kind of spot on. And then down. Then we do the same for the other eye. Pat on. You see, when you do it like that, I have no fallout at all on the pan, on the shade, when I just tap it. If you were to move the brush around, then I think particles would start to move about and get loose. And now I'm just blending peaches. It's a dual brush, so the other side is more of a fanned out blending brush, so I'm just above the crease, I'm blending the colours together. And on this side as well. I'm liking it. I might probably add a bit more pumpkin in the end, but for now that is how I'm gonna keep it. And I'm going in with Festive Flame in the middle over the shade Peaches. I'm going to tap on this colour as well. See what we get. I actually think with this it would be really gorgeous as well. I just realised mixed berries might look really nice as well. More of a pop of colour. But no, I'm going in with, what did I say it was? Festive Flame. So I was considering doing a winged liner with this, but now I sort of don't want to. I think it's so beautiful how the shades just melt into one another. Eyeliner is going to harshen up the look, and right now it's just looking so effortless in one way. The other side as well, tapping it gently. If you do it harshly, like it doesn't have to be pressing it hard, but just if you tap it harshly, then you know the metallic shade, the glitter will fly everywhere. That's just going to happen. So tap it gently. You can tap it hard, but gently. I mean firm but gently, not hard. Firm but gently. I am so happy that I bought this palette. It's insane. Like I thought I was going to like it, but the way I'm feeling right now, it's like Christmas. I was going to say it's better than Christmas, but it's like Christmas. I know I bought this for myself, but it's the best present I have given myself. Underneath I'm going in with pumpkin, and I want to use the same brush, and I'm not in the mood for going to look through my brushes, so I'm just gonna clean it up a bit. So thankfully all the colours are very close to one another, so the fact that it might transfer some of the shade I just used to pumpkin and onto my lid, it's fine. I can live with that. The question is if I want to perhaps use a bit of peaches. No, I don't actually. I just want to go in with pumpkin because it's such a gorgeous colour, and I tap the brush on as well, just on one side, because otherwise I'm going to have, or I might have, a lot of fallout on my cheeks, and I don't want to have to clean up a whole bunch of stuff afterwards. Whoops! I'm not gonna drop the pan when it's new. Well, hopefully never, but especially not when it's new. Look at that. And blending, blending, blending. Away with any harsh lines. It's so beautiful. I mean, just that. The difference that that makes. And I could go lower down as well. Like, it works again with the shape of my eye, with the size of my eye. It works. I could draw it down to have it stronger. I'm not going to because I want it subtle right now, but I could. So I know some of you might feel like playing around with makeup is a waste of makeup if you're not gonna go anywhere, but at the same time you learn how your face works, what suits you, how you can adapt certain looks, because you might find that actually a halo eye doesn't work with me, but I still want to have the impact of a halo eye, so you have to work around differently with the way your eyelid is and things like that. And that's why if you have an interest in wearing different colors of makeup and have an interest in eyeshadow, you should, you know, now and then at least just play around with makeup a bit. Learn what works for you. You don't have to buy ridiculously expensive brands of makeup. I mean, yes, sometimes cheaper makeup is not the best quality, but sometimes, like Makeup Revolution, they've worked. I remember a few years back, their eyeshadows weren't as good as they are now. I mean, before they creased. For me at least, they don't crease anymore, and it's not just because of the primer that I use underneath, it's because the quality changes with time. So, you know, have that in mind, that sometimes cheaper H&M, I use H&M eyeshadow a lot, you know this if you follow me. Their eyeshadows are amazing. They are so pigmented and they just stay on all day, they don't move about. I mean, yes, if you sort of, I don't know, were to cry or get water in your eyes, sometimes you do that and it sort of starts to, then it can move about, yes. But otherwise, if it's warm, if it's raining, it tends to stay on. So makeup doesn't necessarily have to be that expensive. So you can actually buy a few pans of different shades, or this one, and, you know, start playing around. Learn what works for you. Look at that. I think it would look good. I'm not saying that it wouldn't, but I really do think it would look good with a wing liner, but I like the softness of the look now. A wing liner kind of makes it a lot stronger. I am adding mascara though. I am just thinking if I want to tap on a bit more pumpkin. I think I do actually. A bit more vibrancy. I haven't put any highlight on the inner corner of my eyes. I want to. I'm just not. Maybe I should use the gold color, which is, I am thinking, Grow Old. I'm thinking that shade actually. That could work. I should put on more rouge as well. I like it with this shade actually. But what to do? Yes, I'm going to use a blending brush for that. Let's see, do I have one that is clean? Let's see, I'm taking Grow Old on the corners of my eyes. I'm thinking I might actually go in with Penguin. With a bit of Penguin underneath, just to let the shade Grow Old, you know, shine even stronger. With a white undertone, it might just glow even a bit more. Yeah, it is white. It does actually, I think it would actually work on your brow bone with my complexion if you just want a lighter shade and not highlight glistening shade. Anyway, now it's time for Grow Old. And this one, Grow Old, have bigger, I would say bigger glitter flakes than the other metallic shades. At least that's how it reacts with the brush. It's sort of coming off more in bigger flakes. The others are more powdery, but it could just be the way it reacts with the brush. Actually, now that I'm trying to blend it, it might not look as much as it looked on the brush. I think it was a good idea to have the white underneath actually, because this shade is not light. It is glittering, but it's not light, so otherwise it might just have darkened the entire area. There, I am going to use the other side of my brush and just sort of loosely, sort of lifting it, so I loosely fanning it out underneath the orange. And I'm going to take off the excess. Where did I put my trusting cleaner? There we go, clean, clean, clean. And I'm going to blend it upwards, blend it upwards, blend it upwards, not sideways, upwards, upwards, upwards. Can you see that? The lighting really isn't that good in here. I want to go in with more pumpkin. I'm turning off my camera because I don't know how much time I have left, but I am showing you my finished look. So I'm just gonna go and fix the mascara. Here we have my finished look with mascara on. I am thinking that this will actually look really, really nice with... Has that one been there all the time? Anyway, I do think that this will look really, really nice with false eyelashes. I just didn't want to put them on right now. I am going to do a different try though. I'm going to snap a few photos and then I'm going to sort of add something to change the look a bit. So I'll be back with you soon enough. This is what it looks like on me with my complexion. I absolutely love these colours, and I really appreciate that Sophie took the time to consider people with darker complexion than her. I know that Sophie is really, really pale. One, because she says it. Two, because I have eyes and I can see it. But also because I live in Sweden and I have one of my best friends is so light in complexion that, I mean, it's almost translucent. Like, she can't find foundation for her shade, so I know that people can be really, really, really pale. So the fact that, yes, it might not work with every complexion, but the fact that she had it in mind that it would not only work with sort of white people, I appreciate that effort, that she does think about it. And I understand that she might not be able to cater for everyone because she is just a private person. It's not like Fenty Beauty, you know, Rihanna going out putting out 40 foundations. She has a different approach than Sophie. I mean, this is a collaboration with Makeup Revolution, so the fact that she has taken the time to consider, you know, shades that does work for different kinds of complexions is something that I personally really, really appreciate, and I doubt I'm the only one. Now, however, I am going to ruin this gorgeous look by adding on mixed berries in the middle, because I really do think that will look really pretty. However, if I tap it on with my brush, I don't know, I might actually need to use my fingers, as I already have a metallic shade underneath. Sometimes it's difficult for another metallic shade to grab on, but I think it's working. If you have clear gel, I suggest you use it, or sort of spray your brush a bit. That usually works too. No, this side. This side, this side. There we go, creating a different look. You see? It's the same sort of, well, it's the same base, and it's the same principle of makeup, but it looks so much more different. This one looks more creamy, softer. This one, immediately, I'm going to do my other eye so that you can see what I'm talking about. This one immediately looks more sort of party nighttime. The other look I could actually have for work, even though it is a lot of colour. On me, as I said, sometimes you're lucky with genetics. I can wear a lot of shade without it necessarily looking like I'm wearing that much. I mean, people can see that I wear a lot, but it doesn't look as much as it would look on someone else that might have smaller eyes or smaller space between the eyes and the brows. But I'm lucky. Can you hear my stomach? I'm really hungry, and it's been making noises for quite some time now. Let's see. Oh, I clumsily separated my. There we go. Is that? The blending bit I forgot. Blend. The blending does make a difference. However little you blend does make quite a difference. You see this look? It is a subtle difference, but still, especially consider this look with a winged eyeliner. Looks a lot more vibrant than without the purple. And now, as I said, if I had wetted my brush a bit, or if I used my fingers, it would look even more metallic, more vibrant. I'm going to put up the white behind me again, just so that we can appreciate the difference that made. Wait, there. I am loving this. I feel like I'm going to spend every look in October just playing around with this makeup. So you will definitely be seeing more makeup looks done with this palette. Thank you for watching. If you comment down below, remember that I'm a cyber smiler, and if you don't know what cyber smile is, then it is an organization that works against cyberbullying. I have the link in the description. You can always go in there and see their amazing work, what they do. So I am a cyber smiler, therefore. Respect one another in the comments down below. Any nastiness I will immediately delete, and if I don't see it, as soon as I do see it, I will delete it, so that you know that it's not difficult to be respectful and mindful of other people's feelings. So I expect that you will do me the common decency to respect that this is my page and that is how I want us to interact. So no nastiness towards one another, no nastiness towards me either, please. And I will see you soon. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe and like and notification bell. I have had people say like, oh, I don't get notified when you notification bell. You have to hit the notification bell. So yeah, I will see you soon. Bye, take care.